10-9-8, 7 days away from the draft. Shout out to my Sixers with Joel Embiid, the MVP with the win last night. It's your boy Pete. It's your boy Chucks. We're going to get into our little mock draft positional rankings. Get you ready for next week because 7 days from now, Lord willing, we'll be here. We'll be excited. Probably be 3 or 4 picks in. But let's go.
Let's go. This ain't the rock night. Oh, this game can he stink.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere you download your podcast. So if you're joining us live or if you're listening to us on your commute, we greatly appreciate the support. It's your boy, as usual, Chuck's here. And to my left is your boy, Pete. What's going on, brother?
Hi, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
Just chilling, man. Just chilling. Another day in paradise. Feel old. I feel old. One of my daughters turns 18 on Sunday.
Ooh.
So got kids that's about to graduate college. And yeah, man, draft's around the corner. So dude, don't get old, man.
Don't get old. I'm trying.
Don't get old.
I'm not looking out too bad. Oh God. But if you are listening to us, there's one reason why you are. It's for draft stuff, guys. We are a week away. A week away. The excitement is building, and we've got for you our NFL draft preview special tonight. We're going to be doing rankings for almost every position. We'll see how much work we're able to get done. And then we're in the second half of the show, we're going to do our mock draft for the whole first round of the NFL draft. So see how we do. I mean, it's probably going to be really bad. Both Pete and I we're not big fans of mock drafts, but because it's a popular thing to do and we're here for shows, we're here for you, we're going to do one just for shits and giggles. So the first quarter of our show is brought to you by eXp Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, if you're looking for a career or brokerage or change a career or brokerage, contact Alan Foy of eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alan.foy@exprealty.com. Like I said, we're going to get into positional rankings first. The first quarter of the show is going to be offense. We're going to start off with offense. And the poll question, which is brought to you by All Campus, which is the home of A2D Rant Booth, and they're giving 20% off of everything in their store. So make sure you subscribe. Poll question for tonight: Jameson Williams is the best wide receiver in this year's draft class. Agree or disagree? I know my boy Pete has a lot to say about this guy because he's been talking about him since January. Since the national championship game was the first time Pete said something to me about Jameson Williams. So I'm going to give you the floor as usual. I'm going to let you say the first word. Is Jameson Williams the best wide receiver in this year's draft class, Pete?
By far, yes, I agree. And the reason why I say that is because the route running is there. The size may not be there, but the extra gear to get away from people. And when you have, if I told you we could take Devontae Smith and make him run a 4.3 40, That's exactly what you have. And a kid that's not afraid to go over the middle, high point the ball. I don't know why it didn't work out in Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State, he was there, I believe. Was he there? It wasn't Paris Campbell. I mean, he might have been his freshman year. I think he was there with Wilson Olave, but he transferred to Alabama. I think that's an upgrade. People want to knock him for that. Like, you went from couldn't get on at Ohio State for whatever reason, but I dare say that Alabama is a better program than Ohio State with stiffer competition, definitely at the wide receiver position. And to be a standout from there with him and Mechie. I mean, and Jameson Williams was being talked about last year. There's like, wait till you see this kid Williams. This is when Devontae Smith was there, when Henry Ruggs was there. The Jameson Williams was already the buzz. And I think that he is the best overall ceiling wide receiver in this draft. And let me preface this by saying a lot of our rankings tonight probably won't match up to what a lot of other people have. I've solely do my rankings based off of what your ceiling is. If the potential is there and you hit that ceiling. And when I'm saying that about Jameson Williams, when the potential is there, that knee is healthy, he gets in the right system and he's used the right way, I think he outclasses every wide receiver. You'll say, well, people will put in the chat, we already got this guy down here, part of the Fluffy World Order. Disagreeing to the poll, lots of good talent available. All right, that's the good talent, sir. You didn't give me any names, so give me a name. Give me a name. And if you disagree with this fam tonight at any point, give us a name. Just don't say a blanket statement. Give us a name so we can
we want discussion. We want discussion because we love to see the disagreements and see why. Here at Birds of a Feather, we don't just disagree to disagree. Like, we want to know, we want to dig deeper and see why. What is the reason we disagree with you guys or you disagree with us, so that we can bounce knowledge off of each other, because it's absolutely something where we just value a trait more or less than you do. And Pete said something very interesting and very revealing, where he does his rankings and evaluations. He prioritizes upside. That's something that I do too. Like, Pete and I have been high on high risk, high reward prospects in the past, whereas other people haven't. And that's where the difference lies a lot with how we see players and prospects from other people. So it's a big tell. I am going to agree to the poll as well. I wanted to disagree, but I agreed to the poll. I think Pete, I told you like a month ago that I think Jamison is going to end up with my top spot, my wide receiver 1. However, I will say this: it's very tough. It took a lot of I had to really, really think about it. In the end, it came down to 2 people at the top for me. But if I'm going to pick, if I have to pick between the 2 of those people, those prospects, I'm going to go Jameson Williams. You made the comp of Devontae Smith with 4.3 speed. I think I think that I see the similarities. I don't think Jameson Williams is the route runner Devontae is.
I don't think he has to win in that way like Devontae does. That's the caveat.
That's a caveat. But where Devontae could be a route runner and win on the outside or on the inside against anyone, I think Jamison right now in terms of route running has to win as your Z or in the slot. I don't think he has a route running prowess to win on the outside as an X against press consistently. So I think that's the difference. But like you said, it's a good point where he doesn't really have to because he has that speed. So it's a little bit different in terms of what they're asked to do and what they threaten the defense with. So that's where the offset is. I think that if I were to compare the 2, Devontae Smith coming out last year and Jamison coming out this year, I would rank Devontae higher.
Okay.
Because Devontae just has that ability, that those ball skills.
Right.
The hands, he plays, everyone always knocked his frame, but he plays much stronger than that. His ball skills are amazing. Yep. So that's why he was right under DeMar Chase for me last year, right under him. So I think I would grade Devontae higher, but Jameson Williams still gets that first round grade for me. So that's where I fall with it, and it's going to be interesting to see how the NFL views his injury because
Okay.
it's an ACL injury, but that's also something that players recover really quickly now.
Especially
So
nowadays, yeah.
yeah, nowadays. So is it enough to have him slide? I don't know. Could he fall to 15 and 18 for the Eagles? I don't know. Maybe he could fall to that range, maybe not. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Some of the comments you got, Rob Brickman saying he likes Olave a lot. So do I. Jinx says I still love Traylon Burks. That's another. We've talked about him so many times.
Some cat like it's really some polarizing prospects. I mean, at every key position in the draft. We talk about running backs. When we talk about wide receivers. It's just I've never seen so much hot and cold and divisiveness.
Yeah,
Between and we've seen it where Brugler has where the Beast has Burks at, where the RSP has Burks at. You see other people where they have big boards where they have Burks at, and it's just he's either in the top 2, number 1 overall, or he's like 10.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like Olave is the same way. Olave is the same way. Like it's just I don't remember a draft like this where you literally had people picking straws of who their best wide receiver is overall. It's not like last year where we had the top 3 with Smith, Waddle, and Chase. You know what I mean? That's really kind of that was it. Where this year you can go 5, 6, 7, 8 deep if you really think about it. I mean, you got Williams, you got Burks, you got Olave, you got Wilson, you got Drake London, you got Sky Moore, you got Christian Watson, you got Alec Pierce, Jahad Dotson. I mean, I think that's 8 or 9 I just reeled off. And you can make an argument. I'm not saying for number 1 overall, but you can make an argument why, if you're sitting at 15, 18 or that mid-first round, why you can wait or take a chance on waiting for somebody else to come back around in the second round.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, so let me get to other comments. Dominic Giovinazzo. Sorry if I butchered that. Single players rankings. If they didn't get hurt, George Pickens might be a top 2 wide receiver. He's also someone who has a little bit of divisiveness to his game because we had Matt Wallman on here, and if any of you were able to see his RSP, he is not as high on Pickens as others. Whereas he's
closer to 22 being in Georgia.
Yeah. Let's see. Jinx says, I also have blinders on and a weakness for Sky Moore. Packers going to take him at 28. He's going to tear the league up. Sky Moore, I do like in a certain role. It's crazy. Jake, for Fan Fridays, Jake Friel, he says, this draft is so loaded. I'm excited about the first round, but I can't wait till day 2 of the draft. Jake says what I've been saying for years. Day 2 of the draft is my favorite day of the draft. It really is because you have so much talent that falls, and the value you get on day 2 is astronomical. You get so much great talent lower on that day. So I love watching day 2 because that's, to me, that's the gold mine. That's the gold mine of the draft. First round is your high end popular guys, but man, so many people fall to day 2, and I love seeing them fall. I love seeing them go.
Day 1 is like the flashy. That's when you going in and you want to get that toy. Teams are built on day 2.
Mm-hmm.
Depth is built on day 2. That's where you win at. Super Bowls are won on day 2. How many players can you draft on day 2 with how many picks that you have that are going to be contributors and make it to a second contract with the club? That's what day 2 is for me.
Yeah, I love day 2. All right, Pete, let's get into the offensive our offensive rankings. Since we started off with Jameson Williams, let's start off at the wide receiver position. And for those who are tuning in now, we're going to actually add a new feature that you haven't seen us on the show. You've seen A2D use it on other shows, but we're going to share a screen. Something so simple and now such a novelty, but it never really occurred to us to use it. But for this show, we're going to introduce that feature to the show for the first time. So we're going to do our rankings, and so you can see how, as we go along, how we have this set up and how we have it going. So we already answered the question. Both of us have Jameson Williams at our top wide receiver. So I'm going to key that in. Let me know can you see it, Pete?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna bold this to just so it's easier for the fam to see it. All right, so I mentioned I had another guy in tier 1. Okay, I'm going to say his name too here because again, it's back and forth with me sometimes. I'm gonna put my to me it's Garrett Wilson at this in tier 1 also. I don't know why it keeps defaulting to all caps. So bear with me for a second. But I love Garrett Wilson's game because I think Garrett Wilson does have I see this comp thrown out for him all the time, and I like it. It's like a lot like Stephon Diggs. And what I like about him is he's a guy with good all around speed, good route running, and a great catch radius. Like he really can go up and get it. So he's such a well-rounded receiver where like there's not too many weaknesses to his game, and you can really see him be that really good wide receiver 1 for a team. So it's really tough for me not to put him in tier 1 with Jamison Williams. Although if like I said, if I had to pick, I'll put Jamison Williams because that speed is deadly, but Garrett Wilson's right behind him. So who would you have at number 2, wide receiver 2 for you? I didn't know this stuff for you.
Because when I look at Garrett Wilson, he's not. I don't think he has the top trend of any trait a wide receiver. If you say who's the best route runner, I'll probably give it to Chris Olave, but Garrett Wilson would be a close second as far as the separator. Yeah. All around speed, long speed, short speed, middle speed. I would say obviously Jamison Williams has the most explosiveness. If you talk about just being straight, just short, quick bursts, that's Treylon Burks. But Garrett Wilson is in there like he's not that far off to where I think he's the most all around, well-equipped wide receiver in this draft. I say that to say I'm probably going to go with I'm going to go with Chris Olave, number 2 overall.
Chris Olave
for me, just because he can create separation at every level in any route, and he's already a professional route runner. And the way you see Cooper Kupp used, the way you see Deontay Johnson used, I think you can use Chris Olave the same way. Very, very exactly the same way.
Yeah. I hear you. And you know what it is? When I heard Matt Wallman talk about Olave, it made me really recheck. And like I said last week, I think he can be a high-end wide receiver too. It's the upside for me that worries me. I don't know if I see the upside in him where he can be a wide receiver 1 for a team. I feel like he's the perfect complement. Now, if you're talking about for the Eagles, that's what you're looking for, then Olave makes a lot of sense, and I would absolutely love Olave with one of our first-round picks because of that reasoning, because it makes so much sense. It's a safe pick that you know what you're getting. It fills that need, and you don't have to worry. Like he's a safe pick. So I love it. I think that route running makes him that safe of a pick. So I get it, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Do you want to go with your number 3?
I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson at 3.
Garrett Wilson at 3. Okay, so you got the Ohio State guys back to back. Yeah.
Pretty much everything I expounded on earlier, talking about Wilson, is just all around. I think his ceiling is a little bit higher than Olave just because of the size.
Okay.
Floor is a little bit lower. I don't think he'll be a bust. I think he'll be serviceable. I just think it's his adjustment period to the league and his footwork and his traits. I think I won't say a difficult time. I just think it won't be as fast as what an Olave will be.
I hear you.
Because the routes are the routes. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. The routes are the routes.
Yeah, I feel you. I hear you. I can't argue too much against that. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to do it this way. I am going to say the rest of my tier 2 because I've gone from tier 1 to tier 2. I don't have any more people in tier 1 for me. I am going to say the rest of my second tier, and then I'll have you read off of your next few, and then we'll compare and contrast. So
Okay.
my tier 2, I'm gonna start off, and I'm gonna put this guy who I didn't want to put this low, but I did, Drake London. And then I also have after him, I've got, if I can get back, okay. Also in tier 2, George Pickens. I've got also, I do have Chris Olave in here. Okay, he's my tier 2. And these names that I'm reading off, they're not in any order in the in this second tier. Like it's not. I don't have. I'm not saying London I have over Pickens or Olave. To me, they're all in that same tier. And then I have 2 more names. I have Christian Watson, and then I have Mr. Treylon Burks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have those 5. Did I get everyone? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have those 5. So the reason they're in my second tier is because I think they all have that potential to be top end wide receivers or a very, very, very high end wide receiver twos like Chris Olave, but there are question marks. So they may have that potential on the upside, but there are things that I'm just not too sure of or I'm uncomfortable with to the point where I couldn't put them in tier 1.
Okay.
So what few names you want to read off next?
So Williams, Olave, Wilson is my top 3. In no particular order after that. I will go in particular. So I'll give you 5. So 4 is I'm gonna go with Treylon Burks, just because the upside is just crazy. Just if he can harness it, it's like a wild stallion right now. He just doesn't know it. 5 is Drake London. Okay. 6 for me would be Sky Moore.
There it is. Okay.
Yep. Here is Alec Pierce. Just hear me out. If I
know
told
you like him, so
yes.
give your 2 cents on him.
I would keep it short. Jordy Nelson on steroids. A better version of Jordy.
Mm-hmm.
If everything goes right.
Mm-hmm.
If everything goes right.
Yeah.
So I'll give you 8. I'll give you 1 more.
Okay.
You already got Watson on the board, so I'm going to give you somebody that's not here that you don't have up. All right. We're hearing his name a lot, and this is a long shot, but I think 2-3 years from now he can figure it out.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
I'm going to give you Calvin Austin out of Memphis.
You like Calvin Austin?
Yeah.
I
like him. And 9 will probably be Jalen Tolbert.
9 Tolbert. Okay.
Dotson is in there somewhere. It's just
I'm like you haven't had Dotson up yet, but okay, all right.
I would say 7A with Alec Pierce is Dotson 7B because I like him more than Austin and Tolbert. It's just I like Pierce a little bit more.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Calvin Austin is, I think, the name that surprised me the most. I'm not as high. Let's see if I have him here. No, I don't have him here listed. So he doesn't make my 3rd tier either.
Okay.
So that's one of the things we really differ at. Jalen Tolbert makes my 3rd tier. Okay, so I'm going to give the rest of what my wide receiver rankings. I wanted to go 3 tiers deep. So tier 3, I'm going to start off with Jahan Dotson. I'm going to go next with a guy you mentioned already. Do it that way. Sky Moore. Okay. Another guy you mentioned already. I really like. There's this one name I really want to get to. I'm really excited to get to. So Alec Pierce there. We talked about Jalen Tolbert. He's in this tier as well.
Okay.
Here's one name that I think has high potential, but I think his floor is also low. It's Khalil Shakur.
Shakur.
Shakur. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The last one I want to mention. Okay. And this is one that I'm probably higher.
Is this a deep one? Do you think I can guess?
Go ahead if you want to guess. Try guessing.
Conference.
Is it the hold on. Big Ten. Sorry, Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Yeah.
Oh, David Bell.
No.
Ooh.
No. Someone that I'm probably higher on than anyone else. Well, actually, there might be a couple others, but I really like this guy's potential. But he's not going to go as high as I have him graded. You're gonna laugh when I say it too. You're gonna laugh.
Did his team make it to the Final Four? Did his team make it to the college football playoffs?
No.
I don't know. I give up.
It is Mr. Bo Melton from Rutgers.
Okay.
From Rutgers. I think a lot like Pacheco, he is a victim of a bad offense. And I think there's a lot of untapped potential there. I think his route running, his play speed, his twitch are really, really good. I think he could be a really good wide receiver too for a team. And he's someone who's going to go on day 3. There's no way he's going earlier. Like I'd probably thought around 5, 6, maybe even undrafted. But I'm telling you, I think he can come out of nowhere. I think he's a victim of that bad offense at Rutgers, much like Pacheco. So I really like Bo Melton a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the only other one that I heard mention Bo Melton is Brett Coleman. He's the only one that's also high on Bo Melton. No one else really is, but which is fine. And I could be totally wrong, but I think, like I said, that upside, I think, for where I think he's a sleeper. People are not familiar with him, but I think they will be in a few years. So
we left off some names off this. Kevin Austin,
did.
Notre Dame, John Mechie. Seen his name?
John Mechie is like at the top of my next tier, because you're talking about someone he's as safe as it gets. Like he's such a good route runner. He's not flashy, but he's just gonna get you yards. Like he's gonna produce. So I like Mechie. I hated not having him here. I hated it, but I couldn't put him in tier 3. He's like knocking on the door. All right, so that is our wide receivers. Okay, so to run it down again, there's anyone you wanted to mention?
We kind of hit on the ones. I mean, if you want to go deep, Justin Ross. We talked about him with Matt Walden last week.
We did.
As far as the value there, it's just you don't know what he's going to be. Kind of talked about David Bell a little bit. Romeo Dobbs, I don't know how you enunciate it. Carson Strong, so I connect out of Nevada. Mm-hmm. Danny Gray. Christian Watson has a lot of high upside too. I didn't get to him. He probably would have been number 10 for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, just that size, that speed. But you just know when it comes to the competition, it's just that certain positions, big time competition means certain things.
Yes. Yeah. That's he has the whole package except for that. The competition.
Right.
That's where he dropped. That's where he dropped for me. So I told you.
But everyone on this list, fam, is always they're going to benefit more. Their traits can only take them so far. Coaching still matters. Scheme still matters. Who the quarterback is, how they're going to be used. All that still matters. We're just looking at talent. The reason why I didn't have Pickett on my list is there are rumors starting to come around. I have family that live down in Georgia. Like some of his character's concerns, and that kind of
Yeah.
leads into what Waldman was talking about last week. Like
Yeah.
sometimes he just loses focus on the field, not so much just in the routes, but also could be when he gets in fights. It's just no, can't do that.
Yeah, I hear you. I've been hearing similar stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll see how that develops. All right, so those are our wide receiver rankings for this year's draft class. Let's go. I'm going to leave it up to you. Do you want to go quarterback, which I think should be pretty quick? I think a lot of the other positions will be quick. Or do you want to go running back?
Let's do QBs because
QBs? Okay.
I will go on the record here. These QBs in this class, for me, as far as if I needed them to be, I don't think there's one plug and play year one starter. I don't think there's one plug and play year one starter. I think at best, if I did grades, we're probably looking at top of the second round grades over the other positions that are there.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to preface by saying that.
I hear it's tough with quarterback, and like I have a tough time giving quarterback rankings, especially a tough one like this, because there's just so much question marks and there's no one that really jumps out. So it's tough. It's tough for me. But we'll try to tackle it and we'll see where it goes. Do you want to open it up?
Yeah, I'll open it up. So my number one QB overall, I gotta go with Malik. Just the highest upside, man. Just the hand, the arm, the running ability. If they can hone it 2 to 3 years from now, I mean, you're talking about somebody who isn't as good of a runner as Lamar Jackson, but has a better arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who has a better arm. I would probably say, as far as the straightaway speed and running as a runner, I would say he's better than Josh Allen already as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as just how that arm is, just to be able to make reads and things of that nature and play the quarterback position at the NFL level, no, not right now. If you can stash him for a year, stash him for a half a season, yes. Will someone reach for him in the first round? Yes. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. If you look at all the sports books out there, I think the odds of the first QB off the board, him and Kenny Pickett are the favorites, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Who you got second behind him? I'll go through. We'll go through your rankings.
Second, I got Matt Corral.
Okay.
SEC, fastest release out of any quarterback coming out of the draft. Does wait a little bit. Mechanics can get a little sloppy, but hey, that's why we're college picks. You know what I mean? We can clean that stuff up. But I like Matt Corral a lot, just for the arm to release, to be able to throw multiple angles, and the conference that he played in and the competition he played against, and him coming back, getting hurt. You know what I mean? Before his teammates, that shows a lot. It's maybe stupid as far as it wasn't a smart business decision, but this shows you the character. That's all.
Yeah.
3, and this is solely based off of his tape from 2019, 2020. I'm gonna go Sam Howell.
Oh, okay.
I mean, people forget he lost all his wide receivers that he had. He lost to Yami Brown, and he said it like, this year I tried to do too much.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. He said I tried to do too much. But I like him. I like his size. He's 6'1". He's not tall, but he's thick. So he has a stock built to him. Can run. Good arm. Decent sized hands. I don't think hands are the size of the hands are the end all to be all. But once again, we're talking about upside. We're talking about ceiling, right? So we're talking about upside and ceiling. So that's why Sam Howell, for me, would go in front of my number 4, which would be Kenny Pickett. I think Pickett's older. I think he's like 24.
Yeah, he's older.
So older prospect. So I just think his ceiling is where it is. You know what I mean? So,
he is where he is. Yeah.
Yeah. What you see is what you get. I don't think you can bank. Could you win football games with him? Yes. believe that. I believe you can. But I think my comp to him, I would say his floor and ceiling involves Kirk Cousins. I will say that.
Okay. I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a middle of the road.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. Those are your four you want to mention? Or do you...
Yeah, I mean, 5 is this. All right, fuck it. I'll do it. 5, Carson Strong. Best arm in the draft. Okay. Worst lower body. Worst knees out of the quarterback.
Yes.
6, I'll probably go Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder at 6, yeah.
He's perplexing. He's polarized because talent's there. He stays in the pocket, doesn't escape, doesn't look for it out. But some of the layup throws, man, you've been hearing it from everybody. Some of the layup throws, the accuracy issues, it's mind-boggling at times.
Yeah. The accuracy issues do concern me. I think that limits his ceiling. Gongos 951 says Pickett is the best passer of the group. He also says Desmond Ridder I like. Ryan Brodo, friend at A2D, says I am alarmingly confident that is happening next week, and he's pointing to his previous comment, which is with the 10th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Kyle Hamilton, safety Notre Dame. I would go nuts, Brodo. So you're saying the Eagles are going to trade up from 15 to get Kyle Hamilton. If you're putting that out there in the universe, if you're going to put that out there, okay, I pray to God you're right. I pray to God you're right. I don't see it happening because the Eagles don't want to draft a safety, but I sure hope you're right. I sure hope you're right.
If they stick to the best player available and he's there.
Oh God. I swear, if he falls to 15 and Howie doesn't pick him, I would never forgive him. I would never forgive him. I will be so mad. God knows how mad I'm going to be. God knows how mad I'm going to be. I want to think about it because I feel like he's going to skip out on Hamilton. We'll see. All right, my QB rankings. I'm gonna keep this really fast and simple because I just don't like this class overall. I don't like talking about it. I don't enjoy talking about it. But I'll do this. I'm gonna say this. Tier 1, there's no one in Tier 1. I am not putting a Tier 1 quarterback up on here because none of them are deserving of Tier 1. So that's just how it is. It's no one in Tier 1. So I'm gonna start off with Tier 2. Tier 2, we have the same guy, Malik Willis. I think the upside is what makes him the most intriguing quarterback in this class. And I think that because of that, he's going to be worthy of a first round pick. Now, where in the first round, I personally wouldn't pick him till the middle of the first round. But because the class is so weak, he's going to go earlier. Yeah. Right? So that's how it is. The next person in Tier 2, I'm going to follow suit with you, and I'm going to say Matt Corral too. All right. So Matt Corral, a lot of things you said, the question marks with him have to do with that scheme. Can he play outside that scheme? I don't know. We'll see. That's a big question mark. I don't know if he can play outside the RPO, quick hitting stuff, but we shall see. Tier 4. I mean, no, sorry, not Tier 4. My next guy, I'm gonna say, we agree. It's for me, it's Sam Howell. Mm-hmm. So, the same reasons you said, it's the stuff from before this year that have me intrigued. Right. That's what I'm banking on when it comes to having him this high. I don't like what I saw in 2021, nor does anyone, but he was on the upward trajectory before this past season. So I'm going to put a little bit of stock in that. And to round out this tier, this is going to be a little bit alarming for some people, but I do have Carson Strong. Now, I didn't have him this high until about a week or two ago, and I found out that because I always saw Carson Strong as okay, he has no mobility, he
Right.
can't move, he's just a pocket passer, and I'm like, okay, you can't survive like that. But then I realized that um, you have someone who similar to Jay Ajayi, where he has knee issues, yes, but the big if that was presented was that if those issues can be fixed, right?
Right.
He's more mobile than people think. And that's the huge question mark. Because if those knees can get fixed and he can show good enough mobility, you pair that with the arm that he has, you have a first round graded quarterback. The big issue is the medicals. Can he actually fully heal? Can those knees hold up? That's a big issue. But because of the upside, I'm putting him in the same tier as these guys. I know he's really low on some people's rankings, and I get that. But man, I see that arm, and I'm like, this is the best arm in the class.
By
So
far.
by far. So if there is any hope that he can be okay with his knees and provide some mobility, that's to me that's enough for me to put him in this tier. So that's I am really intrigued with Carson Strong. Him and Malik Willis are the most intriguing guys for me in this QB class. It's like if I was a team and I really needed to pick a quarterback this year, I'm picking one of those two, depending
Right.
because they just give me the most upside. They just give me the most upside. And then in my third tier, I'm not going to list them, but I have Desmond Ridder and Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett just doesn't wow me. He's going to be a mediocre quarterback at best, and Desmond Ridder is a high end backup or a low end starter. So they're in the same tier. So that's quarterbacks. Any other stuff you want to touch on before we move to running backs?
Nah. I mean, the kid Bailey Zappi, but it's just this is like I don't remember this. What draft class was EJ Manuel in?
Oh, what class was that? I can look
This reminds me of that class.
EJ
Obviously better than EJ, but it's not a class that
2013.
yeah, it's not a class that no.
Yeah, it doesn't jump out at you at all.
No.
At all. All right. Next position. We going to running back?
You call it.
We going running back? I guess we'll go running back. So if you guys haven't followed today, I did put out my running back rankings on A2D's socials and on my socials. So if you haven't checked them out, go check them out sometime, or I'm about to post them here. So I'm about to bring them up now. Boom. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this banner real quick. Give me a second, just so you can see. So yeah, these are my rankings. I really don't like. If you guys have noticed, I don't like doing linear rankings. Everything's in tiers, so that's why they're broken up this way. I'm going to ask you first. Is there anything, because during this whole process, I've always been in communication with you over guys that I've the process that I've gone on. You've heard me you've heard me give my initial reactions to some of these prospects. Are there any names that you want touched on or so on and so forth, or that jump out at you from what you've seen?
I mean, the most polarizing is Kyron Williams, James Cook, but we've been consistent with James Cook. We've been consistent. Nobody in the top 3 tiers. I'm pretty comfortable with that. In agreement. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you can flip a coin, but depending on what trait you like more, you could flip a coin between Walker and Hall.
Yeah. You could. And can I touch on that real quick?
Go ahead.
Because I've seen so much disrespect to Kenneth Walker that it's like it's so frustrating. Like you have people like Gongos here says Brees Hall, then who cares? I care, Gongos, because there are a lot of people, not everyone, because there are definitely a lot of people that I trust when it comes to running back evaluations also have Kenneth Walker in the same tier, same level as Brees Hall. They even have people. Some people even have Kenneth Walker definitively above Brees Hall. So,
Right.
so if you know what you're talking about, you usually those people have given Walker the respect. But I've seen so much disrespect to Walker. People, I saw someone say he was their running back 9. I had someone say that like his vision is horrible. Like that's can I just like the nuances that Walker has with his vision, and we talked about it with Matt Wallman last week. Brees might be flashier, okay? He might be more proven on film in terms of receiving ability. He might have shown more because Walker wasn't used a lot in that regard, right? Michigan State didn't really use him as a receiver. You know, Brees Hall might be flashier and all of that, and Matt Wallman did have Brees Hall as his RB1.
Mm-hmm.
However, he did have Kenneth Walker in the same tier.
Yep.
And him and I touched on Walker. One, when it comes to Walker, the notion that he's a bad receiver or he's not a good receiver is totally false. I'm going to say it again. It's a lack of usage, not a lack of talent. He has the skill set and the ability to be a good receiver, and he still has room to grow. You know, it's all there. You have to watch out for the reps, the few reps that he does show his receiving ability, and look out for what he does in those. You can't just look at numbers and say, oh, he's a bad receiver.
Right.
Because when he, on film, when he is asked to catch the ball, he shows high-level traits. So I don't want to hear that he's a bad receiver. 2, Walker has arguably the best vision in this class. The best vision, and that's what makes him my RB1. That's like when I say when I see him play, he literally looks like a character from the Matrix, where everyone else is moving slow motion and he's moving at full speed. And it's not because he's that much more athletically better than everyone. It's because he's so poised and he sees everything. Right. It's that vision to not only see the defender in front of you, but all the other defenders at the second and third level, and being able to set up those defenders so well at such a high level. He is not only making moves to set up linebackers and to bait linebackers into certain lanes so that he can get around them, but he's looking out for the defensive backs, the corners, and the safeties, saying, okay, I'm about to make this move in a linebacker. What do I need to do next to make sure they are baited as well and make sure I can make the next move to avoid them? That's what Walker has. He has a next level widescreen vision where he sees the whole field and he's making moves to where he is avoiding multiple defenders before they even have a chance to pursue him or break him down. And then you also include the fact that he's so agile. Yes. You have a guy who's very he's only like 5'9", right? But just because he's short doesn't mean he's small. He is very thickly built, and he has this ability, even though he's thickly built and it's very dense, he has this ability to open up his hips, make such minute movements with his lower body, that flexibility. And it's so, if you are just watching casually and you don't know what to look out for, then you may not see it. But when you really take your time and you break down his ability to do certain things, it's so next level. It's so next level because so many little things he does. And if you want to get an example, just go to my YouTube page or go to ATD Socials, look at my video breakdown. I explain it there. But he does so many little things in terms of opening his hips at the right moment, in terms of having his footwork be very precise so that he can seamlessly go into one cut and into the next. It's just amazing. And this is no knock against Brees Hall, because as you can see, I have him in the same tier. But the disrespect that I keep seeing, where people are saying it's Breece Hall and then everyone else, that's disrespectful to Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is at the same level as Breece Hall and deserves more respect and more attention and more hype because they're both studs. They both have elite upside. And I watch both of them and I'm like, yeah, they're gonna be superstars. They're gonna be superstars. If you're in a fantasy draft, especially a dynasty, they should be 1 and 2. I don't care which one goes first, which one goes second, but they should be 1-2 in dynasty draft everywhere. They're both scheme versatile. They'll fit in any scheme because of their vision, their skill set, athletic ability. They're amazing. I just wish people respected Walker. And when I see people not respect Walker and say things like, "Oh, he has below average vision," it kind of gives me a red flag. Like, you don't know what you're looking at. And I mean that in a respectful way, because I respect everyone's ability to see different things on tape. But one thing I was talking to what's his name, Damian Pearson from Draft Mode, talking to him online, and me and him were discussing how you can tell when people don't really know what they're looking for when it comes to vision. They don't. There are different processes and decisions you have to make depending on the run scheme and how you do it. And people think that a running back going through a wide open lane is a vision. No, that's not vision.
Right.
You have to really play back. If you're not watching run reps on repeat numerous times so you can get a full scope of everything going on at the line of scrimmage and what the running back's doing with their footwork and their path and where they're going, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. So I again, that's a long rant, but I'm pounding the table for Kenneth Walker to be mentioned in that same tier because not enough people do, and I think it's just really, really, it's disrespectful to Walker, and I think people need to open their eyes more. Yeah, sorry, that was really long. I need to get that off my chest because I've been heated about it over the past week or so. This is so heated. Congo says, "Don't get me wrong. I think Walker is good. Hall just looks different to me. I think he's better than Najee too. I think Walker is just not as good. Walker is clearly head and shoulders above the rest. I get it, but I personally, if I were to compare this year to last year, Najee Harris and Javonte Williams were my RB1 and RB2, my two best running backs. And I had said too in my projections. You can go back to my projections last year. I had said Javonte Williams has the potential to be the best running back in this class, and he's shown it so far. But if I were to compare those two to these two, I would have Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall above both of them. They all have, to me, first round grades, top tier grades. But give me Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall above Najee and Javonte, and I love Najee and Javonte, but Walker and Hall are just different. They're just different, absolutely different. You mentioned Kyren, right? I got into a conversation with someone else on Facebook on A2D's the post for on A2D, and they disagreed with my Kyren ranking, having him a tier 5.
Okay.
The thing with Kyren is you have to keep in mind that he doesn't have the movement ability and explosiveness that you want in a back of his size. Okay, so you're talking about someone that's in a 190%, like 190 pounds, give or take, right? He's playing on that, and his build is pretty much accurate for that weight. So you expect him to be explosive. He's not explosive. So his play style is that of a physical running back who takes on contact, but he doesn't have the build to support that. So when you get to the next level, at the pro level, if he's consistently trying to bang it inside and get those tough yards, a frame of 190 is not going to do it on a consistent basis.
Right.
So that limits him. I think he has upside because I think that he is new to the position because he's a converted wide receiver. He's new to the position, so he's still learning the nuances when it comes to vision. That, because the vision is so inconsistent sometimes. He still needs to know and learn the right decision making. But with Kyren, he's still learning, but he needs to add muscle to his frame before I can consider him a starter, potentially be a starter at the next level. He has to. If you're going to have this play style, I don't care about the lack of burst, but you have to add muscle. you have to be able to take that pounding. You can't be 190 and expect to play the way you do and be physical with defenders at the NFL level. You can't do that. You need to add weight. And if he does, and if it's good weight, then I think he can be a starter. But again, that's a big question marks. James Copeland we touched on. I think he's overrated. I keep seeing people have him highly rated, and it bothers me. But I get it because they love that explosiveness. But the way I described it is the first three tiers for me are all running backs that have the ability to play all three downs, to be every down running backs. Tier 4 are running backs who can be a high-end player at in a specific role. And that's where James Cook is. I mean, you look at Zamir White, Kennedy Brooks, they're both high-end runners, but they don't have that versatility on passing downs. Jerry and Ely and James Cook, they're both like scat back type of players. So I don't think they have the ability to be early down running backs. Tyrion Davis Price, amazing power runner. Doesn't really offer much out of that. Tyler Algier, someone we talked about. Fumbling issues, receiving issues, pass protection issues, but a good runner with good contact.
Issues across the board.
Yeah. So that's why he's in tier 4. Pierre Strong, very fast, very quick, awesome movement ability. But I don't know if it's enough for him to be a starter level. So I like all these people in a certain role, but I can't put them in the next tier above guys like Dameon Pierce and Zakuandre Wright, Isaiah Pacheco, Rashad White, and Jerome Ford, because I think all of them can be every down the backs. And Zakuandre Wright is the last guy. Zakuandre Wright and Keontae Ingram, I want to touch on. Zakuandre White, like low floor, high ceiling. He could end up being a bust, but he also could end up being an elite running back because he has those movement skills that are just amazing. The Keontae Ingram is an absolute sleeper. I do not know why he's not mentioned more, but Matt Waldman touched on him. He really has such good vision and such good ability to create on his own. So I don't know why he's not talked about. He's in my tier 2, and I think again him, White, Pacheco. If you're drafting in fantasy, absolutely be on the lookout for them. Later on in the later rounds because they're going to be sleepers, absolute sleepers.
I agree.
Yeah. Gongo said, I also believe and so do that Javonte Williams was clearly the best back last year. I love Javonte Williams. Javonte's a beast. Gongos also says, Beast is my only tier 1 this year, but Walker is my only tier 2. I can understand that. I still think you're underrating Walker's vision. That's what puts him in the same tier as Brees. Okay, so that's running backs. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on with running backs?
Nah. I mean, because the running back class this year, you threw yourself into it, and I was really just following your lead. I didn't get in that running backs that heavy this year. But, I mean, if the top, I want to say your first 3 tiers, I've seen them all. I'm assuming that the Z's next to the name means sleeper.
Sleeper, yeah.
And then I like that little stock market going up on Zakuandre.
Right,
I haven't talked about Zamir White versus James Cook before. I know early on in the process, we were super high on Tyler Algier, and then we started to watch the tape, and it's like,
yeah, I had to recheck because he looked initially to me faster than he really is. And so I thought he had I was like, oh, he's got that burst, he got that speed for a big back. So that's why I made the comp to Jonathan Taylor, like a poor man Jonathan Taylor.
right.
But then combine, slow speed. So I was like, I need to go back and check. And you can kind of see a BYU, it wasn't as flashy because I had to look out for his level of competition. And I had to look out for the lanes where he had a clear runway. So that's one of the lessons you learn for when someone runs a 40. That's where you use it properly, where you say, okay, it wasn't what I expected. Let me go back. And now that the tape is confirming what the 40 time shows. So you see the lack of burst. And so if he's not as fast as I originally thought, I can't have him as high.
Right.
but I do like the contact balance that he has. I do still think that he has really good contact balance to shed tackles and break tackles. So
Mhm.
that ability to me puts him in this tier.
I agree.
John Mama says Rashad White ASU. I'd love to see in green. What round? I think Rashad White. I think is someone I can see going on draft day around like round 3 or 4, or maybe falling to 5, 3 to 5. It depends on how teams see him. I wouldn't be surprised, but if I were to take a guess, between rounds 3 to 5. So because he does have really good versatility and really good receiving ability. So I think that'll stand out a lot. He's a good athlete. I think people are starting to overrate him a little bit, but as Matt Waldman said, he does have issues with vision, and I see that too. Now, Matt Waldman has him pretty low. I don't have him that low. I love the receiving ability. I love the athletic ability, and because of that, because I value that a little bit more than Waldman does, I have him higher than he does, which is fine. So Waldman has him really low. I have him in tier 3, and I do like Rashad White. I've seen people say he's RB3, RB4. Too rich for my opinion, but I can understand why. All right, so we've hit about halfway.
Okay.
Right? I want to just quickly touch, if you want to, some offensive linemen. We don't have to do a whole ranking.
Okay.
But I would like to touch on some offensive linemen worth mentioning. Did you do any rankings for offensive linemen?
Yeah, I did the tackles.
Okay.
I did the tackles. So I have, just see running down 1, 2, 3. I have Evan Neal. I'm sorry. Charles Cross 1, Evan Neal 2, Ike Ekwonu 3.
You have Ekwonu lower than Neal. I mean, they're lower than Cross. I would have I have it reversed. I have Ekwonu over Cross.
Okay.
The reason why I do is because I think Ekwonu's dominant trait in run blocking sets him higher than Cross.
Okay.
Like Ekwonu, I think absolute monster when it comes to the run game. Monster. Eats people. I think it's so dominant that I can't ignore that. So I put him right behind Neal. I do put him above Cross. Is Cross? Why do you have Cross higher than Ekwonu?
I just say in the NFL, it's a passing league. It's as simple as that. Ekwonu's run blocking, dominant, elite, better than I've seen in some years. But I could say the same for Charles Cross and his passing blocking ability. And I think that it's easier if taught correctly to how to get people that can pass block well to run block versus run block out of pass block. Gotcha. Because run blocking, you could tell Ike Ekwonu just wants to get up the field, get to the next level, and hit another bitch in the mouth. That's what he want to do.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? To where a pass block is like you gotta kind of rein that in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You gotta kind of rein that in. So that's just my forte. You know what I mean? And I just think Evan Neal is the best blend of both.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. He's number 1 to me. Interior. Did you do interior at all?
No, did not do interior.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you hear to talk about Linderbaum, but that's as far as it went for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, Goggo says Linderbaum is my number 1 talent in the entire class. There was also who was a Jinx. Jinx 951 was saying that he has Linderbaum also as the top player in the entire draft. So I can't go that far, but I love Linderbaum. I think he's pretty much the second coming of Jason Kelce. That's all I need to say. I do want to also say that if there's someone outside of Linderbaum that the Eagles want to take on day 2, that might be there, might not, but someone on day 2 in the second or maybe the 3rd round that also has that profile of maybe being the Kelce replacement, I think that you go with Cam Jurgens. Okay. Cam Jurgens is even more athletic than Linderbaum. Now, he's not as technically sound, obviously. That's why he's going to be a day 2 pick. But if you need someone who can do a lot of the unicorn type of stuff that Kelsey does in terms of getting out to the second level, pulling, stuff like that, and you don't want to miss a beat, then Jurgens is your poor man's Linderbaum in that sense, because he can do all the same stuff, even at a higher level in terms of moving. He's
Right.
more athletic than Linderbaum, which is saying a lot. So your poor man's Linderbaum is Jurgens. I think day 2, if they pick him, I wouldn't be mad, because once Kelsey leaves, I'm very concerned. I am really, really concerned. I need someone who can do a lot of stuff that Kelsey kind of did. So I've got my eye on Jurgens on day 2. Maybe they pass on one though. Maybe day 3 is where they go. But Jurgens did pop out to me when watching interior offensive line. I'm like, ooh, he's athletic. He's athletic. So
no, did you do any tape on Zion Johnson and Kenyon Green at all?
I did. Kenyon Green, Zion Johnson is pretty much like he's your interior guard center. You can play both. Just so polished all around. Kenyon Green is going to be a dominant guard. He's just going to be so dominant at guard position. Like similar to how Aquan just kills people, Kenyon Green is just he doesn't have the movement ability or feet to put on the outside. But man, like you put him inside, he bullies people. So I love him at guard. I don't think he's going to be someone the Eagles will be targeting. But man, whoever drafts him, they're going to get a dominant guard. He's in my tier 1. Kai's 215 says Kelsey's replacement is already on the roster. That's why you drafted Sayamalu. The thing with Sayamalu, I like Sayamalu. When he's filled in at center, he's struggled. So I wonder, and then also there have been reports that they drafted Dickerson to be Kelsey's replacement, not Sayamalu. I don't know how that stuff has changed over this past year because they've seen Dickerson play guard. I don't know if that's now changed their mindset, but I think it's possible that it's not Sayamalu anymore. I think it's possible that it's Dickerson as Kelsey's replacement. But at the same time, if someone like they want to take someone like Linderbaum or someone like Jurgens, like you put them at center, you keep Dickerson at guard. That's an upgrade from Sayamalu, and I love Sayamalu, but Sayamalu's he's a solid player.
Yep.
You can do better than Sayamalu. So that's my position on that. Anything else on the offense before we switch gears to the defense?
Nah.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, see tight ends. We didn't.
I didn't get to tight ends at all. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I haven't gotten to tight ends. It's tough, but yeah, I haven't gotten to tight ends at all. All right, so we're gonna switch to the second quarter now. I know we're an hour deep, but I had a feeling we're going to have a lot of discussion when it comes to the offensive skill positions. Well, we got the second round. We're gonna switch over to defense, but before we do, who you got for us, Pete?
So we got BetUS, which is a leading online sportsbook that has been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on anything and everything. Use the link as you see here for 125% sign-on bonus. A2D is brought to you by one of our partners, BetUS.
Yeah, I love this comment. We are covered on tight end. They moved Whiteside to tight end. Yeah, we're good. We're good, right? We're good on tight end.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God. I don't hate it. I mean, he's a good blocker. So, I mean, I don't hate it. Here's what it is. Maybe he can contribute. Maybe he'll be better at tight end. So, we'll see. All right, defense. I didn't spend too much time on the defensive line on linebackers. I spent extra time on the corners and safeties. So if you have rankings you want to do for defensive line and linebackers, have at it. It's all you.
You say defensive line and linebackers?
Yeah, interior, edge, and linebackers. I didn't really do much. I did a little bit at the top for edge, so I have like the top tier pretty much ranked out, but and the top tier for interior is pretty much Jordan Davis and Javonte Wyatt. Beyond that, I didn't really look into anyone else. But if you want to talk about it, I can talk about the top tier for the edge too. So.
I mean, obviously, for me, I'll go through the top three for edge. So I got Aiden Hutchinson, I got George Karlaftis, and that's my second overall. I got 3 for Kayvon Thibodeau. 4 would be Trayvon Walker, and then 5 would be Jermaine Johnson.
That's your rank. Okay.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So 1 is Hutchinson, 2 KT Thibodeau. No, I'm sorry. 2 is Karlaftis. 3 is KT. 4 is Walker. 5 is Jermaine Johnson.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I don't have Karlaftis that high. I have Trayvon Walker at 1.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. At 1.
Yeah, 1. I have Hutchinson at 2, Kayvon Thibodeau at 3. I'm surprised I came to that conclusion, but this is my reasoning.
Okay.
When it comes to edge, I prioritize speed. Aiden Hutchinson doesn't have that arc in bend. That bothers me. And he's not as technically sound as the Bosa brothers. To me, from what I saw. So I have an issue with him being edge 1. Kayvon Thibodeau has the ability, but I've now heard way too much off the field stuff and character concerns.
Okay.
So that drops him. When I watch Trayvon Walker, he's just an athlete. He's an athlete, explosive athlete off the edge. He's polished, and he can defend the run too. So from a skill set standpoint, even though he may not have the same high-end talent as Kayvon Thibodeau, maybe, he's cleaner of a prospect for me, and that's why I have him at 1. And I think his upside is higher. I think Walker and Thibodeau have higher upside than Hutchinson. But I have Walker at 1. I do have Walker at 1. That's why. And then Jermaine Johnson is in my next tier. He's in tier 2. And then Karlaftis I have right below him at for tier 2.
Okay.
Interior, did you do anything beyond Jordan Davis and Javonte White?
Interior, yeah. I mean, Perry and Winfrey. That's 3.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the skinny on Winfrey? Because I didn't study him. So what's the skinny on him?
Winfrey is just he's a wrecker, man. He's a space eater. As far as how he can stop the run, can rush the passer a little bit. Obviously, defensive linemen from the Big 12 are not going to be highly sought after because it's just there's really no defense. You know what I mean? We got like 52 to 48 games, 52 to 49 games. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where you're at. But yeah, that's I like Winfrey. The Davis Wyatt matchup, man. That's everywhere you look. Who's going to be? I know we had a question posed to us. I think Don said who's not in here yet. He must be out making Detroit shitty pizza. I don't know. But he said that he thinks Javonte Wyatt's going to have a better career than Jordan Davis. But so we'll see.
We'll see. I've heard differing things on that. Like I've heard people say different things, and so I don't know. I think it also depends on schemes. There's different types of people. We touched on it 2 weeks ago. I think there are different types of players, so it depends on what scheme they go to.
Right.
It's tough. It's going to be tough. But I think those are the top 2. All right, linebacker.
I mean, it starts with Nakobe Dean, Devin Lloyd. I have Lloyd over Nakobe Dean just because Lloyd's versatility can get side to side so much faster. It just reminds me of Darius Leonard. You know what I mean? Nakobe Dean is just an all-around solid back. But once again, we talked about it. It didn't bode true when we looked at the 2019 LSU team, like how many stars could be on that team, how much talent's on that one side of the ball to where is that person really that good, or they benefiting from just being around that much talent? And that's kind of how the question you have with Nakobe Dean as well. A little bit. I think Devin Lloyd is the premier athlete out of the 2. So that's why I'm going Devin Lloyd there overall. And Nakobe Dean number 2. Didn't really get too much deeper into that outside of the linebackers.
Okay.
I'm not sure for yourself.
No, I just those top 2 I looked at.
Okay.
I didn't have time to go beyond that. All right. Secondary. This is where I have okay. And we still got a mock draft thing. So I'm going to try to breeze through this, but I do want to touch on the secondary because I think the secondary is the most corner and safety to me is the biggest need for the Eagles going into this draft. I will fight anyone who says otherwise right now. I know wide receivers right there. But secondary, man, we don't have anyone behind Slay.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anyone. We don't have anyone behind Slay. All right. So huge need. We'll start with corner, okay? And I'm going to put the screen back up again for this segment. But do you want to start off with corner? Who do you have as your CB1?
CB1?
Yep.
I'll let you start it off.
You want me to start it off?
I'll let you start.
I'll start it off. So CB1. Let's see here. Hold on. Sharing the screen. Can you see it? Or no, you can't see it yet. There you go. All right. CB1. It's nothing. I wish I could tell you it's something exciting, but it's not. CB1 to me is Ahmad Gardner.
Sauce.
It's too clean of a prospect right now compared to other ones for me not to put him at the top. I can't. It has to be Ahmad Gardner. But I have interesting stuff to say about the other guys. But go ahead. Who's your CB1?
Sauce.
Okay. All right. So we agree on Sauce. Question for you, real quick. You compare him to the corners from last year. Where does he stand?
Ooh.
Surtain, Horn, and the guy we loved, Farley. Where does Sauce fall?
Sauce would be number 2 behind Surtain.
Okay.
Because, like you said, the tape is just so clean.
Yeah.
The tape is just so clean.
It's clean. Now here's okay. So here's where it gets interesting. Who's your CB2?
If you're asking me, I think I know you're probably not going where I'm going.
I probably am not, but we'll see. Who's your CB2?
DT or DS?
Derek Stingley?
Yes.
Oh, we agree. Okay.
I thought you were gonna do some cute shit and try
No,
to put
no.
McDuffie at number 2.
I feel like people have such question marks regarding him that if you say anything outside of Stingley, it's like, but his tape wasn't good. His tape wasn't good in 2021. Like, no, the Stingley has. Me and you are high on upside. Stingley has the most upside. That's the thing. If you're getting like Stingley from 2019, he's better than Gardner. So I don't know if you agree with that statement, but I honestly think he is.
Yeah. Actually, if Stingley played 2020 and 2021 like he played in 2019, Gardner may fall to 15 to the Eagles.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right. So we agree on that. That's good. I actually would love for him to fall to 15, and I would pound the table for him.
I don't think he doesn't get past 12.
Yeah. I have for the next one. It goes into my tier 2. I don't have anyone else at tier 1. So, who do you? I'll go off first. Also, tier 2. I'll kick it off. I'll list all my tier 2 guys. I've got Trent McDuffie.
That's my third overall.
I've got. This is a surprising name. I've got his teammate Carla Gordon right there with him. Yeah, very interesting. That's going to turn heads. I've got Andrew Booth in the same tier. Really like Booth. And then here's another surprising one to round off my second tier. I have Tariq Woolen.
So no Kyer Elam?
No Kyer Elam. He just missed this tier for me. But I don't see Kyer having the same upside as these guys.
Okay. So you said upside. Okay.
Yeah.
The only one I don't like, I'm not aware of Gordon, so I haven't watched that much tape of Gordon, but I probably would add to your tier 2. So 3 is McDuffie for me.
Okay.
4.
Are you concerned about the length issues?
No, because there's a couple more shorties that I got.
Even though historically there's been no Pro Bowl cornerback ever in the NFL history with arm length shorter than 30 inches.
No.
That does not concern you.
No.
Okay, it doesn't concern me either. See,
Okay.
this is where I really and that trend, that historic fact does raise an eyebrow.
Okay.
But it's a trend from the past.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it's foolproof, and it doesn't mean that things can't be broken. And when it comes to the draft, I'm a risk taker. So if I love Trent McDuffie enough, if I love the film enough, I am willing to take that risk to go against history and bet on the ability, bet on the tape. He's going to have leg concerns. I get it. But what I also like about McDuffie is that I think you can have him play safety too. I think he's movable all along the formation on the back end. I think you can have him in some runs play safety. And I like that versatility. So that's why I have him this high. But go ahead. Number 4 for you.
4 would be Roger Mccurry out of Auburn.
Roger Mccurry. Okay. He was in my next tier.
And then 5 is Andrew Booth.
5, Andrew Booth. Okay. What do you like about McCurry? And I'll tell you what I like about Gordon and Woolen.
McCurry, I like his toughness. I like his smooth, his overall smooth play. It makes it look effortless. The competition he played against, obviously, that definitely helps a lot. I guess same could be said for Andrew Booth as well. But that's where I fell in love with McCurry at. I mean, he had 75 targets, but only allowed 34 catches. I mean, those type of numbers, you know what I mean? So he had some PBUs, 13 overall. So, I mean, but once again, this is when we talk about upside, one of these things and how the NFL is changing. When we look at these short guys, and like you said with the arm length, who necessarily says sometimes there's certain teams and certain matchups you're going against, you don't need your second best corner to be on the outside. You may need your second best corner to be in the slot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roger McCurry, Andrew Booth, Trent McDuffie, they fit that. You know what I mean? So, and they be able to work in space. You need that footwork. You know what I mean? And that's where I think somebody like McCurry definitely helps him a lot.
Gotcha. I hear you.
And what you said you like about Gordon?
Gordon and Woolen, even more so Woolen. I think Woolen will be lower on draft boards, but I favor that value more than Gordon. Gordon, I think, is more of a development. He was McDuffie's teammate. McDuffie was the one that got all the attention, but I think Gordon could really turn out to be a better pro than the college guy. And Gordon has he has to just fix some mental lapses, but I think Gordon has the athletic traits, the suddenness to be a starting level corner. Tariq Woolen is the one on day 2 or possibly early 4th round where he'll be taken, but I think he has the upside, the potential to be a top end corner. He has all the athletic traits. He's an athletic freak, but he's still learning. He's still learning everything. So he's a little bit of not, I want to say project, that's a little too harsh, but he's still developing the mental side of his game. But man, if he can figure it out, you have someone who can be that top tier guy. And that's why I have him tier 2, because the physical traits I can't ignore that. I can't ignore it. So it was enough for me not to clue in tier 1, obviously, but to me that upside is too scary and too it catches my eye too much, so not to have him lower than this. Did you have any there? For me, I'm gonna stop at my first 2 tiers. But do you have anyone else you want to mention?
I mean, I just mentioned Elam, one of those guys that Xavier Rhodes' body type. You don't know really where he's going to fit in at, but once scheme dependent, like the guys, like so. This once again, fam out there are like my top 3, and Chuck's his tier 1, and probably the first 3 guys in his tier 2. Not scheme dependent, and a scheme dependency helps, but we feel as if that they can exceed in any scheme.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So.
Yep. All right. So that's our corners.
I know you about to get excited.
Here we go. Safeties. Yeah, how deep did you go on safeties?
Safeties, I went 4 deep. I'm sorry.
4 deep. Okay. All right. So we can talk about 4, and I got a bunch of other guys that I can bring up. But safety guys, and I've said it, I've been clamoring for a safety for so long. I need one. I'm going to be so mad if the Eagles don't get one on day 1 or 2. So let's start it off. And I really hope we have the same guy. I really hope we have the same guy at CB1. So who do you have at not CB1? Sorry, at safety 1.
I have Lewis Hamilton. I'm sorry.
You caught me off guard. Kyle Hamilton?
Kyle Hamilton, yeah. KH.
Kyle Hamilton. We have the same one. And he's my only tier 1 guy. So, all right. So tier 2. Who is your safety 2?
Safety 2? See, this is where there's a guy that we both love. But remember when I just had that conversation, we're referring to Nakobe Dean.
Uh-huh.
Like the talent level that you played on, how much of that was the scheme and the talent around you, and how much that was yourself. So I'm still going to go with this guy at number 2 because just the personality and the dog in the style that he plays. Give me Lewis Seen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I can see it now if he gets drafted by Eagles. Oh, Lewis Seen with another crime scene tackle. You know what I mean?
I like that. I really like that. So, go ahead. You want to read off the rest of your rankings?
So 3, I would go with. I gotta put Brisker 3.
Juan Brisker at 3. Okay, interesting.
And then kind of there, this is like no particular order. This is the other ones that I like. I mean, I like Kirby Joseph. Out of Illinois. Another one that I like. Give me the local kid, man. Give me Nick Cross.
Nick Cross. Okay.
And there's one more as a sleeper.
Okay.
That you may have done work on or not. But I like him a lot, actually.
Okay.
I like Dane Belton.
Who?
See.
I didn't. Yeah.
Dane Belton out of Iowa.
I did not study him. Dane, D-A, was it D-A-N-E?
Yes. 6'1", 205.
Belton?
Belton, B-E-L-T-O-N. Yeah, you got it right.
So
he actually was a safety, kind of moonlighted as a slot cornerback. Actually had he was in the backfield a lot, and he had 5 picks last year. So,
okay.
And Iowa is a very defensive minded team, so that's where their bread and butter was.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so here are I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Safety, even more so than corner, is so difficult because you have different roles. So it's very tough to delineate. Like it's scheme. It depends on the scheme. Okay, like how they're going to be used. So in my tier 2, I have a clusterfuck of guys. So tier 2, I have Lewis Seen, and he's at the top of this tier because I want him so badly on the Eagles. So I love the way how he plays from the top down. He's just an absolute missile. I love it. He does have to work better in coverage when he turns. Mm-hmm. That does concern me a little bit, but I think that can be developed because I think he does have the range and the athleticism to get better in that department. So that doesn't concern me as much, but it is a concern. You've got Daxon Hill. I'm going to put in this tier as well.
See, for me, what he was coming up on my cornerback list, which I know him and Petrie.
A lot of people, yeah.
Him and Petrie are both kind of that hybrid.
Yeah. I agree with that. And that's why, depending on who you ask, you're going to have them listed here. I have them listed as safety, so I'm going to put them there. But they both do similar things. So Hill and Petrie, and then Brisker in tier 2. So those are my tier 2 guys. Seeing Hill, Petrie, and Brisker. Okay. I want seeing the most out of this group. After seeing, probably I want Brisker. I like Brisker because he can do everything in terms of, I think he can do everything on a good level. I don't think he can do anything on an elite level, but he's very well rounded. You can have him play a little bit of single high, a little bit of cover 2. You can have him play in the box. So I think he can do a little bit of everything. What bothers me is that I don't think he has an elite standout trait anywhere.
Okay.
Tier 3 is where it gets interesting for me in terms of Eagles targets. Okay, so I've got 2 in this tier that I really would like. So the first one I'm going to mention is Kirby Joseph.
Okay.
Kirby Joseph is a ball hawk, probably the best ball hawk in this class. So I love that playmaking ability. So I love Kirby Joseph. He'd probably be like round 3, round 4. So I would love him as a 3rd round pick. The next guy I would really love is Brian Cook. Brian Cook has probably the best range in terms of coverage ability. He's probably the best single high guy in this class. So I know we don't play single high, but the fact that he has that range to play center field is a huge trait for me. I value that so much. And then in the same tier, I do have Nick Cross. I do like Nick Cross a lot. And then tier 4 to round it out, there's one guy I want to mention, and it's JT Woods. JT Woods, I think, has that ability, has the high upside to be a high-end safety, but he has to do better. He has to just so much he has to work on mentally. He's still raw, but man, the athletic profile, the physical profile is absolutely there. He just needs to develop it. So he's a round 4 guy. If they were to skip out on safeties in the first 3 rounds, it wouldn't make me happy, but JT Woods would be the last guy I'd really love for them to grab on day 3. If he's there. Hopefully he's there on day 3, if that's the case. So those are the safeties. Anyone that jumps out to you that I mentioned?
Woods, so kind of like Belton for me. Woods, I haven't done a lot of study on. Cook was the one that I kind of wanted to put in there between him and Cross, just because of his range. I want with a lot of versatility in my list. Guys I feel like can be multitude of areas. And you kind of did the same with Daxton Hill and Jalen Petrie and Brisker too. But that top 2, man.
Yeah. Those 2 guys, those top 2. Scene would be someone that Philly just loves.
Yeah.
Just love. We would just love the way he plays. Absolutely. So I don't think they're going to draft a safety on day 1, and I think he's going to go on day 1. So I don't think he's going to be someone that Eagles look at. But I would absolutely love him with pick 18. I would.
Right.
All right. So that's safeties, and that pretty much is the end of our positional rankings. We've touched on most of the positions and gave pretty good, if you ask me, good depth and reasoning behind our rankings. And if you're listening, if you still want to post yours, have any suggestions on who you want to target, absolutely drop them in the comments. But we're going to move on. We're towards the end of the show. But this is probably the most exciting part of the show. We saved it for the end because we know we have some late stragglers coming onto the show. Most notably Mr. Don. I know he comes on late usually, so hopefully he can catch this part. Before we do get to the 3rd quarter of the show. Our sponsor for the 3rd quarter is Dr. Paul Vidal, a specialized physical therapy. He's got 2 locations, Cherry Hill and Burlington, making yours specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Okay, let's pop this up. All right, let's get it going. And we've done pretty much most of our rankings. So now we have a good base on what to go on. The way we're going to go about this is we are going to
We're doing odds and evens.
I was thinking we just go one by one and just we have to reach a consensus on
Okay.
the pick. But if you want to do odds and even, that's fine because also the Eagles have an odd and an even pick, so we would each get to pick for the Eagles. But whatever way you want to do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it GM style. So let's do a consensus, so we can have a discussion. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I feel like we're gonna have already a disagreement with the first pick. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars first pick. I personally would go with Evan Neal
Okay.
because you have a franchise quarterback. You need to protect them. You need someone to protect them, and you need it to be. You need a hit. I know for me, there's too much question mark at edge because Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Walker, different people have different thoughts on them. There's to me, Neal is standout, the best offensive lineman in this draft.
Okay.
With the first overall pick, I think you have to hit on that. So I would go with Evan Neal. What do you think?
So the moves we made in the offseason. This is Trent Baalke talking to Doug Peterson right now.
Okay.
Made a lot of moves on offense, made some decent moves on defense. Got Josh Allen. We pick at the top of the second round as well. Do we feel as though the drop from edge from edge and then the next tier edge players, and then from the tackle position to the next tackle position to the next tackles, do we feel which gap in the position of value is bigger?
It's a good question. That's a very good thing to bring up.
So
I'd have to say it is in favor of edge in terms of there's a more of a drop off from the top of the class at edge to the next tiers than there is at tackles. I think with tackle, you can get someone in the second round that's going to be better than what's left available at edge. So that's a very good point. That could sway me. So if you're leaning that way, then we can go edge.
Yeah, I'm going Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson? Okay, we'll go Aiden Hutchinson at 1. So Aiden Hutchinson at 1. No, real quick, are we making any trades or are we just going to go blow through this?
See how the board plays out.
Okay, all right. So Lions at 2. Lions at 2.
If I'm on the phone, I'm trying to get out of this spot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to acquire more assets. But ultimately, if I have to make a pick here, who we have on the board? Evan Neal, Thibodeau. Just drafted Penny Sewell.
It did. I think I would go defense.
Do you do it?
I would go defense.
Okay, yeah, okay. For sure.
You going defense?
I'll go defense. Nah, I'm not replacing Jared Goff out of these players.
I'm going defense. Now, which defensive player are you looking at?
Because of who Dan Campbell is If I'm making the pick, I'm drafting Sauce Gardner number 2 overall.
I'll go Sauce Gardner. And the reason why I say Sauce is because what's his name? The corner they took high
Okuda.
Okuda hasn't been panning out. And I think that Sauce could help with Okuda. So I would go Sauce. Are we agreeing on Sauce?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna go Sauce. I wonder if that's early than what most people think, but I don't care. The Texans at 3.
Another team I'm trying to see if I can trade out, especially when I had pick 13.
Yeah.
Especially when I had pick 13.
I would go. They've had a horrible offensive line. If you're going to pick here,
they would be in a great position here.
I would go with
If the board play like this, I mean, take your pick.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Laramie Tunsil, but I mean, take your pick. Do you want Neal? You want Cross? You want Ike Ekwonu? Who do you want?
I'd go Neal for the Texans.
I'm in agreement. We'll go Neal.
Neal. Okay. Neal. I'd be so happy if I'm the Texans. The Jets. New York Jets.
Number 4 overall.
Let's see.
Do I go Trayvon Walker here or do I go Thibodeau? Because they have not had an elite pass rusher since John Abraham.
I would go Walker.
Okay.
You go Walker?
I agree with you.
Okay. Javon Walker. Giants
At 5.
They need offensive line. They just lost their guard. Who do they have at safety? They lost Jabril Peppers.
So if I'm the Giants here and I know what type of offense I want to run, I know what Dable does, this is a no-brainer pick for me. Fucking Ike Ekwonu all day.
Let's go.
Saquon,
yeah.
give Saquon somebody he can run behind.
Yep.
If they do this, I hate it because it's a good pick.
I've been screaming for them to upgrade their offensive line for years.
Right.
They have to. Like you go Ekwonu. All right. So this is fun. We're at 6 with the Panthers, Pete.
Because I wouldn't do this because it's their only pick in the draft in the first round. That's the only reason I would not be thinking about a quarterback.
You want to trade down?
I would definitely look to trade out.
You want to try? I don't know for this. Yeah, we'd have to like.
But who's coming up?
I don't know.
None of those teams right now need a quarterback. That's the problem.
Yeah. Seattle.
Do you try to entice Do you try to entice New Orleans to try to get up if they want a quarterback?
Maybe New Orleans, maybe Seattle.
Or the other thing is, this is the other thing. Do you just draft Charles Cross and be done with it because they need offensive line help bad? And it's kind of the same situation to where you got to run it back. They can kind of label Darnold the starter. He's seeing ghosts. Get him some protection, and that will benefit you no matter who your skill position players are going to be.
I think for the Panthers, things have gotten so bad. I think you either draft Cross or you go Willis. I think you go quarterback. I would lean toward Willis.
Really?
I would, because I think the Panthers do need a quarterback. Obviously need a quarterback, but I think it's so bad that I think that Matt Rule desperately needs something to hang on to keep his job.
But that's the thing. I think Matt Rule is the one who I think it's different because I think the GM and the owner are looking towards the future where Matt Rule is trying to keep his job this year. So he wants to field the best team he can this year. So when you do that, do you want to hitch a ride to Willis where they don't have to move on from you? And he's never really had a quarterback like Willis. He's had more traditional passer quarterbacks if you look at his time at Temple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you look at his time at Baylor. So if I'm him, I'm pounding the board for Charles Cross.
Charles Cross. All right, we'll go Charles Cross. Charles Cross for the Panthers. You got New York Giants again. All right. Now, do you go defense here? Is this where Kyle Hamilton goes?
I'm drafting Kayvon Thibodeau if I'm the Giants.
Kayvon Thibodeau? Let's do it. Kayvon Thibodeau. Best player on the board, but obviously, according to this. So, Falcons, quarterback. I think they screwed up the Matt Ryan thing so bad. I think they have to go quarterback. If Malik Wallace falls to them, I'm taking Malik Wallace.
You just call that man Malik Wallace.
No, I didn't. I said Malik Willis.
He's related.
Sounds like Malik Wallace, but sorry, I said it fast to where it sounds.
Don is in the building with the vengeance. I mean, who else? I mean, you re-signed Tracy Bell. You don't know what you're getting out of Jeff Okudah. I can't see Dan Campbell taking a chance from Derek Stingley. He'll sign off on Gardner. Like, that's what is wrong with that pick.
Who does he want? I think he made him one.
Yeah, you tell me who you want.
Yeah, tell us who you wanted, and we're gonna move on. So I'm going Malik Willis to the Falcons.
Okay.
Malik Willis? Okay, Malik Willis to the Falcons. Seahawks. Do they go quarterback and go Kenny Pickett?
No.
No. Do they go Matt Corral?
I don't think they go quarterback at all.
What are you thinking?
Looking at this board, you got Stingley, Johnson. I think the pick, if on draft day, if Trayvon Walker is still on the board at 9, I think it's Trayvon Walker.
Okay.
That's what I think. But based off of this, I would probably say do I go Jordan? It's Pete Carroll now. Does he go Jordan Davis? Does he go with Jermaine Johnson?
Probably Jermaine Johnson. If he wants that rusher. Now, do you consider Derek Stingley?
I mean, they re-signed Sidney, didn't they? Or is Sidney Jones is still there?
I believe so. I think he got re-signed. He wanted, Don wanted Tibbs. He wanted Thibodeau. That too. I like Ahmad Gardner over Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Don. I like Ahmad Gardner over Thibodeau, personally. If I were to make a board, What do you think for you? This says Kyle Hamilton.
It does, but also at the same time, I can see the corner as well. And I can see him trying to keep somebody who played in Washington, being Trent McDuffie. But
this is too high for Trent McDuffie.
You're talking about Pete Carroll and John Snyder.
True.
Chances are they probably try to trade out of this spot, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Their record of their reputation for first round picks isn't that great. So
exactly.
We have to make a pick. So Seahawks, I can see them going Stingley. I can see them going Jermaine Johnson.
I can see them going. For them, this is good. You got Hamilton, Stingley, Johnson, and you got Jordan Davis still on the board.
Yeah. You pick. You decide.
It's just too many good choices.
You decide. Gun in my head, I think they would pick Stingley.
But didn't they just re-sign Quandre Diggs too?
No, did they? Hold on. Quandre Diggs. Or maybe they did.
And they already got Jamal Adams there, so that takes Hamilton off the board.
Is Jamal Adams still there? Yeah, okay. He is.
I'm going to go Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson. Okay. Jermaine Johnson it is.
Not because Don told me.
Because Don was the Was the deciding factor? Oh, they did sign Diggs. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right, number 10.
Robert Gilchrist wanted the LSU corner for the Seahawks, so I guess I could have seen him there too.
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right. So number 10.
The Jets with the second pick, right?
Yeah, their second pick. Yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. I was thinking that too.
Because they just don't have a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And they can't wait for Jameson.
Yep. So Garrett Wilson. Okay. Washington Commanders. They got their quarterback, Carson Wentz.
These dirty bitches, boy.
Jamison
Jameson Williams. Guaranteed if Williams is on the board at the time at 11.
You think so?
Yes.
You're kind of you think Jameson Williams? Okay. All right.
Him and Terry McLaurin.
Oh, that's scary. That is scary. Okay. Jameson Williams. Now we got the Vikings at 12.
See, I'm trying to do this from straight from their point of view.
Yeah.
Um,
Kyle Hamilton is falling, by the way. Do they take Kyle Hamilton here?
Harrison Smith is getting old.
If I'm the Vikings, I would take Kyle Hamilton. I would have taken Kyle Hamilton a lot earlier, but we I don't know.
All right, I'm cool with Kyle Hamilton.
Hamilton to the Vikings. Okay. Houston Texans.
Houston Texans at 13. This is where I think they give
Stingley.
not stupid. Please don't give Kyle Hamilton to the Vikings.
Yeah. Hey, we can't we want Kyle Hamilton too, but is this how it is? I mean, we could trade, but
so 13 Houston Texans, right? Who do we give them at 3?
We gave them Evan Neal.
Evan Neal at 3, right?
Yep.
See, this is a luxury pick for them, but we talking about Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
Cover 2 defense. Jordan Davis.
You're gonna go Jordan Davis, okay? Jordan Davis. I'm okay with that.
This is no longer Baltimore is.
What is in this pick? Baltimore Ravens, the most Ravens pick right now. The most Ravens pick. You know who it is.
It'd be Stingley.
No, the most Ravens pick would be the linebacker.
You talking about Lloyd?
Lloyd, yeah. That screams Ravens.
But they need pass rushing so bad. They have no one to rush.
Who's available? Karlaftis? I would go Lloyd for the Ravens.
Okay.
I think Lloyd. That screams Ravens.
But then where's Patrick Queen go?
They play together.
They're both middle linebackers.
They play a 3-4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don says they need O-line. I mean, they kind of do. They could go Trevor Penning there as well.
They could have, yeah.
Based on this board.
It's just the Raven. It screams linebacker screams Ravens. So I'm going. Okay, so we've got the first Eagles pick here. I am if this is how it falls.
You don't even need to talk to me. You don't even need to talk to me.
Boom! Is that it?
That's a done deal.
There you go. You go. That's it. All right. We didn't even have to say the name. We know who it is, and I am screaming from the top of my lungs in happiness and rejoicing that one of the defensive backs that I really wanted to fall did fall. Yep. To me, it's Stingley and Hamilton that I think are top tier defensive backs in this first round. That if they fell to 15, I'm pounding the table for one of them. So, and there was no ulterior motive for me. Like I really didn't plan it on my end for Stingley to fall. I tried to be as reasonable as possible. Like I had the Vikings pick Hamilton. I could have had Hamilton fall, but the Vikings picking Hamilton made sense to me. So, but I really hope Stingley does fall to 15. The Saints here. Do they go quarterback?
At 16, I don't. They could. They could go Matt Corral. They could go Kenny Pickett.
I think they go quarterback. I think they moved up for quarterback.
Okay.
I'm going to give them. Which one? Which one are we going to go with?
For that offense, I'm probably indoors. Weather's not going to play a problem. Give me the Pickett man.
Pickett. Okay. If the Saints pick Pickett there, I am rejoicing. I'm going to be so happy. Chargers at 17.
Did more offensive line help?
Offensive line is Penning. I would go Penning.
They need wide receivers. They could use another wide receiver too. You know what? This is going to be a luxury pick for them. If I'm them, I'm going Drake London.
But didn't they re-sign Mike Williams?
Yeah, but you can never have enough fucking size.
So you would go wide receiver here.
I would look for another offensive because look at the division that they're in.
Okay.
Or do they go Trent McDuffie?
Who do they have left on their team?
You got Derwin James in the secondary. I don't know who the other corner is.
Checking now. The corners are Michael Davis and Santi Samuel, and then J.C. Jackson. Okay, they're not going corner. So, let's see here. They're not going corner. I would go. All right, I hear your wide receiver pick. For me, it's either Penning or one of the wide receivers left. So you decide.
I'm gonna get Drake. I'm gonna give them Drake. I think Drake London will be in that offense. He doesn't need to do much. He doesn't need to do much.
Drake London. Okay. The Eagles, second pick of the first round, number 18.
Just who we got left?
You know who's looking at us right in the face right now.
And just to fuck them over too, because I know they fucking want it.
You know who's looking right at.
I know they want it. Go ahead, just break New Orleans' heart.
Are we going Olave? Are we going?
I
think Olave makes a ton of sense.
It does, but Karlaftis makes sense too, and no one's talking about it because we need another edge rusher. Bad.
We do, and they do prioritize edge. I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think. We took a corner.
They wouldn't go Daxton Hill, I could tell you that.
No, they're I don't think
we just drafted Stingley.
So we got the corner already.
And now they're starting to prioritize school. So did they look at an edge rusher from Purdue, or they look at a wide receiver from
They did meet with Olave. Remember, they met with Olave. So there could be real interest there.
Let's take Olave.
Okay, Olave. I think I'd go Olave there. Olave at 18. So the Eagles wind up in our mock draft, Birds of a Feather mock draft. They end up with Derek Stingley Jr. at pick 15 and Chris Olave at pick 18. I would be really happy with that.
Yeah. I like it. We just cut. I don't care about any of the picks after this one. I don't give a shit. Not for tonight's show. We got through 18.
All right. Well, New Orleans 19. Karlaftis.
Out of this, what's left now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. New Orleans. So you give them Karlaftis, or would they go wide receiver?
Who's left?
Traylon Burks.
When they already got Michael Thomas.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they have Michael Thomas?
That's true.
We'll go Karlaftis.
Yeah, I can see them going Karlaftis. I can see them going Penning. I can see them. I mean, they really don't need. I mean, where did Teron Armstead sign somewhere?
I think. I think he did. Miami. Oh, Penning? You think Penning? That's a possibility?
Yeah, Penning.
We can go Penning with them. 20. Are the Steelers going quarterback here?
Who's left? Is Corral still on the board?
Corral still on the board. Would they go Corral or would they go offensive line? They need offensive line. There's Zion Johnson right there on the interior.
If they take Zion Johnson, Dallas is going to be pissed.
Let's take Zion Johnson. They need help on the O-line.
They're going to be hot. Yeah, Zion Johnson.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Zion Johnson. 21, the Patriots. They lost J.C. Jackson. Are they going Booth? Or they going...
Who took over as OC now?
I don't remember. Or maybe would they go safety? Because they... What's it called? Didn't he retire their safety?
One of the McCourties?
Yeah. Devin McCourty, you think he retired? So maybe
I think Devin did.
Yeah. They could go Daxton. I think they would go Andrew Booth. No, I think they go Daxton.
They also need pass rushing help as well.
They do, but they always find a way to get pass rusher from a bunch of different things. So
I can see Andrew Booth working there.
Andrew Booth. I think I'd lean Daxton the Hill because I think they like his versatility.
They signed Peppers, Ethan Modric is saying.
Did they?
Yeah.
All right, you want to go Booth?
I like Booth.
Because they did lose they did lose J.C. Jackson. All right, so Booth. Packers. Who's
Treylon Burks, man.
You go Treylon Burks?
They need a weapon. You just don't replace Devontae's.
I don't know if I have him this high. Who's the next best wide receiver? You've got Burks, Watson, Dotson, Pickens, Mechie, Tolbert.
You could go Scott Moore here.
Could
go. They low key do.
You know what? Let's give him Burks. Let's give him Burks because you have someone in LaFleur that might be able to use them certain ways. So let's give him Burks.
Okay.
All right. So we'll give him Burks. Cardinals.
They need offensive line help bad. They need to keep Kyler upright if he stays there.
There's Kenyon Green.
You got Kenyon Green. You got Zion Johnson. You got Linderbaum.
You got Karlaftis too, though.
Still got Devontae Wyatt on the board too.
Yeah. What are you thinking? I'm thinking for them, I would go Green.
Okay.
Green?
Yeah.
Dallas.
Zion Johnson's not on the board anymore, right?
No. Edge, they still need a pass rusher. They don't have a pass rusher.
No, they still had DeMarcus.
Yeah, but who's opposite? They haven't had a pass rusher opposite. Oh, wait. Well, they have Parsons, but Parsons doesn't always play there full time. But, okay, we can skip pass rusher then for them. Which way would you have? So, secondary maybe?
Nah, I probably would get them Devontae Wyatt.
Javonte Wyatt. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Javonte Wyatt it is. Bills. I would go running back. And I would give them because I follow this one Bills account, this great Bills account, and they've been pushing for Breece Hall. So because I follow them, and I'm good with them. I'll give them Brees Hall here at 25. I would. I personally would.
I like it.
Because I think they're complete. I think a running back in the late first round is something that offense desperately needs to put them over the top. They need that legit running back. So I think that at 25 overall, running back should absolutely be in play. And Brees Hall, I'm looking at the talent. On if you take out positional value, Brees Hall is the best player available.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. So Brees Hall to the Bills. Titans. Robert, go Chris.
And we just gave away Javonte White, didn't we?
We did. Do they need more O-line help? Who's up on O-line? No, not much.
You still got Linderbaum there.
You do have Linderbaum there.
I was looking, maybe they could have used Karlaftis, but I'm looking at the depth chart now.
What do you think, offensive line then? Are you thinking? Or
Yeah, they run 3-4, don't they?
yeah. I think.
I would say Nakobe Dean here too, but
I'm good with either Karlaftis. I'm good with giving them. Who is their corners? Who are their corners?
corners are Christian Fulton
Okay, they took him early.
and Caleb Farley.
Oh yeah, they took. Okay, no corners, guy. I think they're set there. Safety. Who they got at safety? They got Byard. Sorry,
They got Kenneth Byard and they got Amani Hooker.
Okay, they're okay. Secondary. Then linebacker.
They got Cunningham, Bud Dupree, David Long Jr., and Harold Landry. So Harold Landry and Dupree are rushing. The inside backers are David Long and Zach Cunningham.
You can upgrade. You want to give them Dean?
Yes.
Okay. Dean. Tampa Bay. Who wants to play with the unretired Tom Brady? Be giving them who's available. We've got
Ali Marpet just retired.
Linderbaum. Who's their center? Did they keep Ryan Jensen?
No, he signed somewhere else.
He did?
I think so.
Ryan Jensen. Oh, he's.
Oh no, he resigned. He resigned.
Okay, they don't need a center. I was gonna say if he signed, it's absolutely Tyler Linderbaum. You think safety?
Nah, don't they have Winfield?
Who's opposite him?
But so Winfield's a strong safety, right?
Yeah.
What free safeties do we have? That makes sense.
Well, I mean they have Seed who can play on the back end and cover two. Yeah, Seed. What does the chat say? What do you guys think?
So they got Logan Ryan, and they just signed Logan Ryan, by the way, and Antoine Winfield.
Logan Ryan gets on the field. They signed Logan Ryan.
Yeah.
Who's their slot?
Slot corner is, and they signed Keanu O'Neal too. Fuck.
Okay, so they don't need safety.
They got Russ Cockrell, Sean Murphy Bunting, Jamil Dean. I mean, they're pretty fucking stacked everywhere. They're not stacked, but they're decent.
Do you think maybe McDuffie, because their new head coach is the defensive minded coach?
Yeah.
You want to give them McDuffie?
Yeah, because I think McDuffie's more reasonable than reaching for another guard.
Yeah. All right, McDuffie. Packers pick again. They
I
need
probably would get them Karlaftis at this point.
Karlaftis. They need what's his name? They're one pass rusher left.
Yeah, it's
Bobby
Darius.
Karlaftis.
He went to.
Yeah.
He said he's out of Buff, Minnesota.
I don't know.
Did Anthony Barr ever sign anywhere, or is he out the league now?
I don't know. The Chiefs had two picks back to back. Defense. I'm going with them. I'm going defense. So I am giving them. I would give them Scene. Personally, I would give them Scene, and then.
What wide receiver is left?
Oh yeah, because they need a wide receiver. Speed. You can't get Jahan Dotson. You can't do Christian
I
Watson.
can see Andy taking Christian Watson.
Okay.
Just because the natural, the length and ability, and him being able to hone it in.
So you want to go Watson?
Yeah.
And then how about their second pick?
No, I thought you made the first pick was was Scene.
I didn't know if you agreed.
No, I agree.
Okay, all right, so Scene. So and then last two, we got the Bengals. Offensive line.
Trade Andre Dillard in a 3 for 31 overall bid.
You want to do that?
With the sense he need.
Line. Tyler Linderbaum is still right there.
Then yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Linderbaum. And then Don, you tell us.
32 is all you, Don.
32 is all you. Don. You let us know. Who did he want Kenneth Walker to go to? Who were you saying, Don? Who were you saying to give Kenneth Walker to? And then let us know you want for 32, and we'll end it there. What did he say? He said, name some players on the board. So we've got
Matt Corral, Daxton Hill, Kair Elam, Sam Howell, Perry and Winfrey, Jaquan Brisker. Is that? I can't see.
Arnold Ebiketie,
Kenneth Walker,
Tyler Smith,
Desmond Ritter,
David Ojabo. Oh, he wanted. I could see Kenneth Walker going to the Bucks too. Yeah. Him and Fournette would be really good.
Got Jalen Petrie.
He said, "Give me Jaquan." He wants Jaquan. Jaquan Brisker is the last pick. Where is it? Where is he? Where'd he go? There you go. Jaquan Brisker. There you go. What just happened to there? Okay, whatever. Whatever. Oh, full results. There you go. There's our round one. Cool. So, again, to recap, the Eagles picked at 15, Derek Stingley, and at 18, Chris Olave. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good mock draft. Like I said at the top of the show, guys, I'm not a huge fan of mock drafts, but we did one because we know the people love mock drafts. So, Don says sauce and Jaquan Ahmed.
You didn't even want the sauce. You came in here hot.
Oh God. All right. So before we head out, no huddle. I wanted to bring this up. Debo Samuel is going to. He requested a trade from San Fran. Where do I even start with this? To think that we're actually here is pretty crazy. But before I get to it, let's read off the last sponsor for the show in the fourth quarter. Pete, who's our last sponsor for the evening?
Gleason's Bar, located at 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown, PA. Use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or order online at Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com.
Sweet. All right. If you asked me weeks ago, like, we'd be here where Debo was requesting a trade, I would have laughed at you. I actually did laugh. But we're here at this point, and Debo is requesting a trade. I still have doubts whether it's actually going to happen
Right.
because the Niners, they don't have really a history of giving into trade demands.
And Kyle has personnel control too.
So he has Mostert and Robbie Gould in the past have requested trades and never happened. They ended up resigning. So I still think it's like a 70% chance, 60 to 70% chance he stays. But I could be wrong because weeks ago I said it was a 100% chance he's staying. So I obviously don't know.
Right.
If he is going to get traded, here's what I've been saying, okay? And I don't know if it's agent talk on Debo's side saying this, but I do want to address it because he on his side he said he doesn't want to be used as a wide back anymore. Because he doesn't see the longevity in his career if he keeps being used that way. So when I hear talks about people talk about like teams where he can go to, and think, oh, these are the teams that can use him right, using them in similar ways. I don't believe that because if Debo really wants to stop being used that way, then you don't have to pick out teams that are going to use them the same way Kyle Shanahan has.
Right.
The other part to this is I think people are underrating how good Debo is as a traditional wide receiver.
They haven't seen it. That's the problem.
We haven't seen a lot of it, but if you go back to his rookie year, before he was getting a bunch of these carries, he was playing traditional wide receiver, and he was making a ton of plays as a rookie. People forget that. And there's Super Bowl. Go look at the numerous that playoff run back in 2019. The numerous like high end plays he was making as a traditional wide receiver. So just a reminder, he is not someone who is scheme dependent. I think he's a stud no matter how he's being used. Kyle Shanahan just used him in a way that maximizes his production because he's a monster with the ball in his hands. But he is still an elite player, whether he's used that way or not. So I just want to get that out there because there's too many of these people saying that, oh, you have to go to a team that will use him the same way. No, it's not the point.
Right.
He doesn't want to be used that way. And I don't blame him. I don't blame wide receivers that want to limit being used as a running back because of the wear and tear. That's the whole reason running backs have a short shelf life is because of the wear and tear. So I don't blame Debo. I don't blame Debo for wanting to get paid. I think if I'm the Niners, I'm paying him. And this whole thing about, you've got to, if you can't afford certain players, you got to just let them go, move on. That's what the Chiefs did with Tyreek. I still think it was a mistake for the Chiefs to not pay Tyreek. To me, and this is my opinion, but the players that are deserving of large contracts and are deserving of being overpaid are the elite ones. There are so many examples of players that are overpaid in the league that don't amount to much. We see it in free agency all the time. Look at Kenny Golladay, the payday he got by the Giants. You're going to overpay mediocre or subpar talent often. That's what hurts teams more than paying elite talent. Because at least with elite talent, you might be overpaying them, but at least they're giving you elite production on the field. So I think the Niners should pay him. He deserves the money, but we will see. He could end up being traded. I don't know.
If I am Packers, if I am the Chiefs, I'm on the phone right now because this also I wonder how much of this is a byproduct of the moves that they made last year and now they don't have any first round picks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you still got Brandon Ayuk there. You still got Kyle Shanahan there. I'm not saying you can replace Debo, but they may be able to talk themselves into it. And then, so how much do you think the hybrid running back and then wide receiver role had to do with it because I think at the second half of last year, I think he had 28 receptions, but like 58 carries.
Yeah.
How do you think that how much validity do you give to him not being one of the used in a running back capacity?
I think it has some validity.
Just because you think of the body wear and tear?
Yeah. I think it has some validity. I think that it's being used as leverage on his part.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said at the beginning it could be agent speak. But I do think there is some validity to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it could be being overblown for leverage, but I think it is the truth. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, but it is very interesting. Very interesting that we're here.
Next 7 days should be fun.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, bro. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah. Northman comes out tomorrow.
It does. It does.
I know you watched the Fantastic Beasts.
Yes, I did. It was solid.
Yes, the Thor trailer was.
Yeah, there was something about I don't want to spoil it, but there was one aspect about it that kept bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
Has to do with casting.
Okay.
It just kept bothering me, and I can't get past it to make it to fully enjoy to say I enjoyed the movie. Because in the back of my mind, as I'm watching, I'm like, God, I don't want to say it, but
okay,
yeah, it's a casting thing, and it bothers me when there's no continuity in characters from sequel to sequel. That's one of the things that really bothers me because I think it hurts the overall plot of the storyline throughout the whole series. So, yeah, but I think it was a good ending. Apparently, they were talking about there being more movies, but it's been making less and less money, and so the reports are saying that this is probably the last one because this didn't really make that much money opening weekend. So this is most likely the last one, and the way they ended this movie, it is a fitting ending to if it does turn out to be the last one. So yeah, that's the Harry Potter enemy. So, Don. Thor trailer. I'm gonna say this again. I was not impressed, except for the last part when they showed Natalie Portman. That's the part we were waiting for. We knew it was coming, so nothing particular. But I'm glad they did show it at the very end. I just think it's gonna be more of the same over the top comedy. I just think I see it's the same stuff. It's just laughs and laughs and laughs, and I'm all for comedy.
But you need substance.
There's no substance. There was no substance in Ragnarok for me. So a lot of people love it. A lot of people love Ragnarok, and a lot of people are probably going to love this one.
Right.
It's going to be a solid movie. It's going to be a fun movie, especially with Natalie Portman coming back. It's going to be so overrated to me because it's going to be too much comedy.
Right. And man, look, Marvel better get it together, brother. Because if DC comes, I've always said this, DC from a comic book read can go toe to toe with Marvel if they get the films right.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. It's a whole different ballgame. It's not a competition. We're going to get spoiled as fans. But because shit, you got Multiverse of Madness in 2 weeks from today. Then you got Thor in June or July. Did it say June? I thought it said June. Or did it say July?
I'm not sure. June.
No, I'm still not. I haven't watched Moon Knight.
No, we haven't watched Moon Knight yet.
But then you got Black Adam at some point this year.
Yeah.
And we have no trailer for that yet.
Yep.
No official, like what we saw. We kind of got the teaser one, but I need to see me a 2 minute and 45 second boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll see.
But
a lot of exciting stuff. All right, guys. So we are going to close it up here. Thank you for tuning in to our NFL draft preview special. Next week, the draft is here.
Yes.
A2D will have coverage for you, so definitely tune in It should be a fun few days of the draft. So come back to us. Let's talk everything draft. We'll see if we have a separate Birds of a Feather show next week or not. We're not sure, but just stay on the lookout. Keep it keep on the lookout for show announcements. And if we are on next week as a separate show from the draft show, it'll be right before the draft. We'll do preview coverage. So let us know. Stay in touch. We got other shows coming up as always every single day. So stay in touch with them. For all of our sponsors, thank you, especially our main sponsor, Manscaped. Remember, 20% off using the code A2D. And that's all I got. Pete, anything else for you?
Hey, listen, fam, thank you for rocking with us. We appreciate it. 7 days away from the draft. But listen, every day, everywhere, just follow all our socials. That's all I can tell you. Follow our socials. That's the quickest way to get up to date is what's going on with the platform and the fam. What kind of show we're going to be bringing to you next Thursday. I think we may have something in the works for some on-site stuff in some capacity. Details will be coming out. But if you anywhere you think you can follow, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, A2D Radio. It doesn't change. The brand is the brand. The brand is the name, and you guys are the brand. So we thank you for rocking with us. Everybody out there, be safe. And we will see you next Thursday.
Next Thursday, NFL Draft. Stay safe, guys. God bless.
Peace.
Peace out.